Hello everyone and welcome to Harv's World for episode 12 of Dalton Valley Farm. It's late spring and not a lot was going on middle spring, so we just jumped right over it. I did keep up on the farm and I'll show you exactly what I did during that time. But before we get started, a quick order of business. I would like to welcome Nathan Stein, Martin Dutil, and Sieber to the channel. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you being here, and I hope you're enjoying my content. Thank you. So, late spring, and, well, the weather did not warm up enough for any planting mid-spring, so we are going to get a late start on virtually everything. Let's take a look and see. Our weather forecast for today looks good. Our temperatures are finally up. But we have a one-day window to get everything we want planted, and we're planting sunflowers, canola. What else were we putting? We were doing some spelt and triticale. So that's a lot of planting that needs to get done today. And there are other things afoot as well, but first we need some equipment. That's what's going to be important at the moment. And I need a seeder, and I've already picked one out. I know exactly what I want. I just have to find it in the list here. Yes, this Kverneland, 12 meters, will do us up nicely. And that's going to run about $7,000. That's a good looking seeder, right? And we will lease that for $7,000. So let's grab that, get it back to the farm, and fill it up with seed and get this thing working. And I need to make sure which tractor I want to put on it because, well, we've got horsepower requirements, as I'm sure you know, and I've got to make sure I've got the right tractor for the job because we need to rent another planter to do our sunflowers, and I want to make sure both of these implements have what they need to get the job done. And I didn't look at the horsepower requirement on this one. That was silly of me, but this one's probably higher because it's also cultivating. I don't think the planter I've picked out does, so yeah, we'll sort that out. Now, our sheep have gone absolutely nuts. So, you know, we started out with 200 sheep. And, you know, reasonable people would say, well, you know, you would get about 200. If everybody got pregnant and did their business, you'd end up with about 200 sheep. Well, it didn't work out that way. I don't know if they're having twins, you know, multiple births. It's impossible to tell because obviously in Farming Simulator, we're not involved in the birthing process at all. They just appear. But right now I've got 430 sheep and I still have pregnant lambs. Both of my sheep pastures are completely full. And, well, not sure what I want to do about that. And we'll just fill this, completely fill this. I think we're going to need it and more. And let me take a look real quick. So, yeah, this needed 230. Yeah, the Fent is going to be on the job here. And let's get him started. So, yeah, we've got 430 sheep. Both pastures are full. So, some of the larger lambs, now they're not quite as big as I would like them to be yet. I would like them to have gotten to about 100 pounds, but some of them are in the 90s, so those are going to get sold off today just to make room. The Dorpers, well, the Dorpers produce, and they produce a lot. So if you're ever thinking about sheep on seasons, go the way of the Dorper. Because I think we're going to end up making a good amount of money off of that. Oh, come on. I wasn't that close to that pole, was I? Alright, let's get this bad boy unfolded. And we want to make sure this field we are getting canola. Canola did so well for us the last time. Just crazy good. Alright, let's see what we got here. Course 19. Let's see what 4 headland passes does for us. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So we will go with 4 headland passes and get this party started. There we go. Canola in the ground late spring. But that's going to back us up like crazy when it comes to harvest. Unfortunately, we're going to be stuck in that position again. It just means throwing more equipment at it, I think. Hopefully the weather will work with us, but we're also already looking at those drought conditions again. So I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we can't make it rain. Can't make it rain, unfortunately. Well, we got to get the case on the job. We're going to get the case with a planter doing our sunflowers. So let me run down to the shop. Actually, let me go ahead and grab our planter. We were going with a Kverneland on this also. The Optima RS. That should suit us nicely. It's 9 meters. The sunflower fields are smaller anyway, so that should be fine. And this is only 3,500 at least, so we'll be good there. 180 horsepower. This was the one I wanted to make sure was on the case tractor. So again, run into the shop. We'll grab that, and I will see you as soon as we're in the field. Alright, we are loaded up with seed. We've got our planter all set up and ready to go. With one exception, I need to go close that gate. I always forget to close the gates, and then I get these tractors in trouble. There we go. Okay, so let's get this party started also, shall we? We're on field 18. Yeah, we'll do 2. That looks pretty good. Oh, I forgot to, there's a setting for this and I need to find it. Use fertilizer of cedar deactivated. Okay. Now they'll move along. We don't need fertilizer in this thing, just the seed. And we need to stop. I don't want corn. I want sunflowers. So we'll go back to the beginning. Yes, that's one thing about setting up any helper. Make sure you have, or even doing the job yourself, make sure you have the right crop selected before you start the job, right? Right. Okay. Well, Courseplay and I are not working and playing well together today. But that's okay. It just gives me the opportunity to sort out a few things. We don't want to start at nearest waypoint. We want to start at the first waypoint. That's all I really needed to do. I'm pretty sure this should sort it. We should be sorted at this point. Sunflowers, first waypoint, very good. Now we are very well sorted out, which is what all we really wanted to begin with. So now everybody's working today, only we're just working with this particular tractor. And I want to get some of these sheep sorted out. I need to sell a few off, so I need to run down and grab a transport trailer. So let me do that, and I'll see you back at the farm. Alright, so I've got my transport. Gonna back in here and load up some sheep. Now we're looking for any lamb over 90 pounds. That's pretty much only going to be the male lambs at this point, which is fine. So let's take a look here. See, these are all in the 60s, 50s, and 60s. These are our breeding stock, so we don't want to get rid of those, although I'm going to sell some off because they're just producing way more than I can even manage. Let's go down here. These are even smaller lambs. Here we go. So we can move this male, 94 pounds. Yeah, there's a couple more at 94. That one, there's one. Oh, there's a good couple of them there. Now, I'd rather they be up closer to 100, maybe 110. But we will settle for what we can get. I just need to make room. I mean, that's all there is to it. Just have to have room in the pens. So we're going to confirm that. We've got a nice load of sheep. Now I've got to run these back down to the shop, and we're going to see how much money we make on these bad boys. Our first sale of Dorper. And it only took a year. I mean, it was just about exactly 1 year ago that we started in here. No! I hope that didn't injure the sheep. Oh man, you can count on me to crash. Every single time. Almost. And even though they're not producing wool for us, they've got nice heavy coats on, so it's warm enough. They're not going to freeze. But they just stand there. Make noise. They travel quite well, don't you think? I mean, they're not even blinking an eye. Not one iota of movement. They must be sheep zombies. Zombified sheep. Alright, we're going to back them in right here. Well, that'll do. Okay, so we're getting 343 a piece. That's not bad. All told, that's going to give us $5,000. So, not too shabby. And if you figure I could do that another, let's see, that was 1,400, 10 times. Yeah, we're going to make good money on our sheep. Figure 4,800 times 10, that's 48,000. And I can probably do that 15 times. So we're looking at about 75,000 once all the new lambs are ready to be sold off. Not a bad return on investment. Not bad at all. So let me go grab some more sheep. I'm going to take care of all the males, make sure I've got room opened up, and I'll be back with you in just a minute. So I've got another 14 sheep. This trailer holds 14 and it's full again. That's not all the males yet, but it's quite a few. But it should, I think that should open up enough room now. So we're going to sell these 14. For another 4,796. So we made about 9,500, somewhere between 9,500 and 10 grand. Not shabby. And I don't need this trailer anymore, so I'm going to drop that off. Let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of it, shall we? And I think we need to check in with our tractors and see where we stand. Let's go look, shall we? He's doing pretty good. Almost wrapped up over here, actually. A few more passes and things will be complete. Very nice indeed. Looks like we're going to be stuck with that corn, though. Yeah, well. Life will go on. And then, yeah, oh, wow, this person is really cranking in the canola, which is great because we need to get this stuff planted ASAP. Now this seeder has 2 more fields to cover today, and the planter has 1 more field to cover. So, and the seeder's going to get a real workout because it needs to do canola, spelt, and triticale. So lots and lots of different things to take care of there. And let's keep an eye on this one since it's so close to the bitter end. Now if we take a quick look at our seasons menu, that small section of corn doesn't even have a planting window in this geo, so Scotland doesn't produce corn. Apparently, it's not a good climate for growing corn, so that probably just won't, it'll fail to germinate, and that's fine. We're not losing very much. So, no problem there. No problem whatsoever. Now, one thing that I did do, up here in field 45, I did get the lucerne planted there, so we are in good shape, and that is fully fertilized, so it's good to go. Now field 20 is where we're going to put the spelt. Field 25 is getting sunflowers. We've already got rye growing in 22, and 26 I'm going to put triticale in, and then that will give us a boost to our grass next year. So that should sort us out nicely, very nicely indeed. In fact, you can see field 22, we planted this last fall, and it's already in its final growth stage. So that is pretty darn outstanding. Outstanding indeed. And of course, as always, we'll have to go back and do a little bit of touch up on these fields, but that's to be expected. Like right now, for example. Yeah, let's just swing it in like this. Oh. The worker folded it back up. We don't want that. Should I even bother with this corner? Oh well, I'm going to. There we go. That was easy enough. And we'll hit this real quick. Still missed a spot. I make myself a little bit crazy because if I don't hit every spot, I don't know. I kind of obsess over it ridiculously. I know it's ridiculous, and I just can't help it. It's part of who I am now. That's all I can say. Like, now that I know these little spots are in here, if I don't go fix them, I will sit there and go, I really should have covered all of that. I need to make sure everything gets covered. What am I thinking? Go back, fix them. Fix them now. Well, if we were all the same, it would get incredibly boring, wouldn't it? Alright, just checking up. Now there's a spot there, and I'm leaving that one. I'm going to force myself to leave it alone. But these right here, these need to be taken care of. There we go. Alright, we are going to shift the planter over to field 25. If I can ever figure out how to drive and hook up. And of course, you know at this point that now that these are planted, we'll need to get fertilizer going back on them. We can get another application of fertilizer. I need to refill this. Field 30 or field 25 is not that big, but still I want to make sure that we don't run out. In fact, there's some just sitting right here. Let's grab that first. Oh, there was a lot more in that container than I thought there was. Good, that works. That works in our favor. Let's see if I can just swing this around. Maybe. That would be no. No, I can't. Then again. Oh, it was close, but I made it. And that's what really matters, right? Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Okay, we drop that off. Swing back around to hook up to the side. I like these kind of planters and seeders. When you can tow it like this and then hook up and fold it, it works out quite nicely, I think. I'm going to close this gate just to be safe. And we will get our worker going over here too. So, we need that. Course generation. Field 25. Let's try 4. 4 headland passes. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. Gets a little muddled in the middle, but I'm sure our driver is intelligent enough to sort it out. And we do have sunflowers this time. Very good. Alright, let's get back over here and check our Fent. Coming up on the final pass or two. Doing well. Still has plenty of seed, so that's good to know. And our case is already in trouble. Well, you know what that tells me. It tells me we might just have to drive this one ourselves. At least until we get this first headland pass done, and then I could turn it over. I think he's just a little close to the trees there. It does give me an opportunity to show you. This is that field that I plowed out. And I plowed just far enough to the side that it was asking for lime. So I just limed the whole thing. You know, that's something that whenever a field needs lime, I just do the whole thing. Or if I do, you know, if I add to a field and that section needs lime because I just plowed it out, I just do the whole thing. And the reason I do is just to keep it all on the same schedule. Otherwise it just gets complicated and confusing. There. Jeez, I wasn't sure I was ever going to get out of that. And that's why we frequently that's a bad stretch right there. Might have to come in and see about fixing that at some point. A little bump in the field that needs to be smoothed out so we get good planting. Well, we get this first headland pass done. Set this tractor up to start at the nearest waypoint this time. So it should swing out about like this, and then hopefully yep, let's try that. Okay, that looks pretty decent. I think they'll be okay. We need to take care of the Fent though. Stop our driver. And we need to unfold this thing so that we can just touch up where our driver missed. And here on field 20, on this one, let's try 6 and see where we stand on that. Yeah, I think 6 looks pretty good. So we'll get this driver working. Go check on our case, who looks to be making kind of a mess of things, actually. There's some real funkiness to touch up on this field. I suppose I should have just done it myself, but I'm helping the population I'm helping provide people with jobs. I think that's rather important, don't you? Especially in this really, really horrible year that we have been having. Man. Coronavirus and all the other junk going on in the world. Political unrest, civil unrest, just things have been crazy. Just crazy. And I'm just ready for it to all end. I mean, don't even bother watching the news, because you know what? You can just flat out say, it's the bad news. How often do you ever hear any good news? Apparently, cynical Harv is like in full swing today. The old cynic is coming out. But it is frustrating, and I think everybody's feeling it at this point, you know. Let's get this coronavirus business taken care of once and for all. We're all sick of hearing about it. We're all sick of dealing with it. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, be safe. Do the right thing. But it is tiring and frustrating and limiting. And I think we could all just use a break. Everybody deserves a break. Alright, looks like just one more corner to take care of, and then field 25 is set. And then it's going to kind of turn into a fertilizing frenzy. Alright, now, normally I could just send this back to the shop, however, it's loaded with seed that I don't want to just hand over, so there we go. I'm going to go empty it before I send it back. I mean, seed costs money, right? We don't want to spend more money than we have to. Alright, let's drop the seed. Perfect. Drop that planter and send it packing. Make sure I'm returning the right one. Okay, very good indeed. This gives us an opportunity to check on our goats. We haven't looked at them today. And you can see I've got them well supplied with food at this point. But in the goat department, we are up to 59 goats. Now I have sold off a few goats, just as they get big enough. The males, of course. You know, there's a 95-pound male right there. Oh, there's a male at 147. Now, one problem that I've found is there's no way to transport goats. So, I guess they really kind of expect you to keep them to keep producing milk, which these goats are doing quite nicely. Where was that big male at? There he is. But still, he's going to be worth $444. And we'll sell him off. That's $344 after the $100 transport fee. But yeah, anyway, back to our goats. We've got 58 goats. Yeah, there's still a few pregnant ones, so we could be having more goats again here pretty soon. But we've got 17,000 liters of milk plus what's in this tank because the tank is full. And what are our prices? Our prices are not great, so I've been holding on to the milk for the time being. That's regular milk. Where's our goat milk? There it is. Yeah, see, the prices dropped down quite a bit. It looks like late summer or midsummer is probably going to be the best window for sale. If the price should jump up before then, I'll take advantage of it. But for now, I'm just going to hang on to it. I'm not sure how much it will hold. But if I do need to get rid of some, I mean, I'm still looking at 4,200, so that's not too bad. Not bad at all. So really, at this point, everything is pretty well covered. I'm going to check back in with you when we get closer to planting this field with triticale. I'll see you in just a little bit. Alright, so we got the seeding complete over there on field 20. I've got a worker fertilizing over there now. And we are going to knock out this field with triticale. Let's fire this thing up. Let's see exactly what we can do here. One thing about this field, I don't think I can put a worker on it. In fact, I'm pretty sure I can't. This will always be a self-worked field, which is fine. Looks like things are gonna go smooth-ishly. Oh, I really thought I was going to get hung up on that curve there, but... Alright, I'll come back and touch that up. I'm getting a little too close on the left and getting hung up on trees, but we'll sort that out later. Like that. Again, it will be sorted later. But I'm going to knock this out, and you just sit back and enjoy the music. that's gonna wrap up the triticale. And I believe I've discovered something. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm not sure which. I'm pretty sure that this field was previously plowed and planted with grass. That grass was actually a crop, not just placed grass. But that's okay. I mean, as you can see, our cultivator cultivated. It shouldn't have been able to do that if it hadn't been originally plowed. So, oh, well, it is what it is. We can't change it now, right? Right. But that's okay. Because once we harvest this triticale, then we'll get a boost to our grass. And that's really what I was after anyway, so it should provide better grass in the future once that is taken care of. So, and I know I just emptied this, but I want to try to get all of this in one thing. There we go. Or not. And we must have over 1,000 liters. Try that again. Yep, we do, but not by much. Alright, well, it is what it is. Let's get this sent back. We've got a worker in the field that has finished their fertilizing. That's pretty much all that's left to do at this point, is fertilize a whole bunch of fields. I think we're in good shape in that regard. Let's go check on our lambs. Since we were just over here, make sure they have what they need, which I'm sure they do. Give them a little water though. This lamb right here, you see this lamb right here? I'm naming this lamb Jeff. And I'll tell you why. Because I've always wanted a sheep that I could call Mutton Jeff. So this sheep is now Jeff. And he will be Mutton Jeff for now and ever after. Anyway, I think that's going to do it, not only for this episode of Dalton Valley Farm, but for Dalton Valley Farm. This is going to be the final episode. We've got our spring planting done. Everything is in place as it should be, and it's time to move on. I have received a request from some folks in Italy, of all places. They are trying to get an old vineyard up and running and have asked me to come and see what I can do to make that happen for them. So, remember, Dalton Valley Farm, great map. That LexR would like to donate the proceeds to Doctors Without Border, a great nonprofit. Look them up if you don't know about them. I appreciate you coming along for the ride. Unfortunately, Dalton Valley is going away. Although do keep in mind, the Fendt 1050, that's my personal tractor, and that will be going with me everywhere I go. Again, I do appreciate you coming along for the ride. And as we say goodbye to Dalton Valley, you all take care.